Hello, my name is Sarah Logge and I'm a podcast maker and coach at Alles Podcast. Today I'll be the host of this Project C podcast, but this will be the only episode you'll hear me talking, because from the next episode onwards, Edwin will be your host. So today I'll ask him everything you need to know from your future host. Welcome to the Project C podcast. Yeah, Edwin, my first question is a short one, but maybe has a longer answer to give. Who is Edwin?
Who is Edwin? Trying to be brief here. I'm one of the co-owners of B-Matrix. I'm over 50, so I'm getting a little bit old. I have 3 children, which are not children anymore. They're like in their 20s. I live in Belgium. And I'm the future host of the podcast.
We're going to talk a lot about sustainability. That's
Correct.
very important for you and also for B-Matrix. But how did sustainability cross your path of life?
Yeah, sustainability has been around forever, basically. So Stefan and I started the company up in 2004. And we basically started with a sustainable product. But a product can never be sustainable enough, so we kept on innovating on the product.
Can you maybe tell us a little bit about B-Matrix?
So B-Matrix is a supplier and designer of a system for exhibit building and all kinds of events. So what we do is we trying to make the life of exhibit builders, stand builders easier by making the product simpler and also by making it more sustainable.
And how can you make those stands more sustainable?
Well, there's all kinds of things, of course. There's the product that is aluminum. Aluminum, you could say, is a non-sustainable product. So we are watching on how the product is made, and then we try. And the last years, more and more, we try to use only recycled aluminum. So if you have a recycled basic material, then of course we sell the product. And after a lot of reuse, then the product can and is recycled again to that same aluminum, where we can start over again, making it a circular product.
You are a member of a lot of sustainable associations,
That's
which keep sustainability in mind when organizing events. How did you become a member?
Yes, well, basically the answer is pretty simple, because a very important part of sustainability is also collaboration. It's not only about your own company, but we have to collaborate over the value chain with all the stakeholders to really make a sustainable industry. That's the case for IFES, which is the European/global exhibiting organization. Also of EDPA, which is more or less the American counterpart of IFES. And then I also became member of the UFI sustainability team, which is more like the organizers and the venues themselves. And then one project that already came out of the collaborations is the Net Zero Carbon events. And then just last November, I became chair of the workstream Smart Production and Waste Management.
What do you want to contribute to the event industry as a member of those sustainable associations?
Okay, well, basically it's pretty simple. We can try to be sustainable as a company, but that won't bring a lot. So in order to really be successful, the whole industry needs to be sustainable. And in order to achieve that, I think the only option is to collaborate over the value chain, which means from organizers over venues, or venues over organizers, to exhibit builders, to agencies.
Is it the goal of those associations to inspire the whole industry, or to really bring the theory into practice, or what do I have to imagine?
I think the first step is making sustainability a good thing, a nice thing, which doesn't mean extra costs or something. And another thing is, of course, indeed a little bit more theoretical, help companies in starting to do something. Where do we need to start? What do we need to do first in order to become successful over time? I'm always saying, start now, start simple, which sounds simple and is simple, but yeah, a lot of companies need a little push to help them forward.
Okay, but what are your sustainable goals on the short and long term?
My own sustainable goals? Well, an important part of that, of course, is with the company. But indeed, I'm learning a lot about myself and my family. Right now, I really start thinking about traveling. Do I need to take that plane? Or can I go by train? Or is a Teams meeting not enough for this time? So what's the cost? Not financially, but environmental. And on the other hand, it's also really a lot of small things about the chickens in the garden and composting, things that won't lower the carbon footprint of the planet. But if everybody does a little bit, then I believe we will come a long way.
Yeah. And as for B-Matrix?
As for B-Matrix, Project C is a whole master plan, both on product as on company, and as we discussed a minute ago, also for the industry. The goal for B-Matrix basically is to become carbon neutral by 2026. As we are at the starting part of the industry, we produce things for other companies. I believe in order for the industry that wants to become carbon neutral by 2030, I think we should give the good example and become carbon neutral a bit earlier.
And can you maybe explain how a company as B-Matrix can become carbon neutral?
To put it simple, there's 3 steps in that. One is the measuring. So without measuring, you don't know what the footprint is and what you can do. This figures we created kind of a master plan on the company level where we can make good progress. There's a lot of things, sea freight instead of land transport, using more recycled aluminum. We're also looking at the energy we need. And then once we succeeded in reducing the most we could do, the third part is they call it offsetting. It's like contributing to the world, the remainders of the footprint. You put the money in a project, but that's only the last stage, because I see a lot of companies only doing the last stage and then they think they're sustainable, but there's much more to it, of course.
Yeah, you have to look yourself in the mirror and then change
Absolutely,
what you do.
Well, the idea is to invite a person within the industry or not from the industry where we can learn from, that can share good ideas, that I can have a good discussion with, on the do's and the don'ts, let's say.
Okay, so everyone who's looking for inspiration to work more sustainable, they will get inspired by Project C.
I believe so, and I hope so, yes.
Thank you, Edwin, for this chat. And that brings us to the end of this introduction episode. So if you want to hear the next episode, then I suggest to follow us on Spotify or on your favorite podcast channel